As my grandmother said when she was crowned, coronations are a declaration of our hopes for the future. Chaos has erupted at Buckingham Palace as Prince William has taken matters into his own hands, altering the titles of Sophie, Countess of Wessex's children. The move by the Prince of Wales has left Camilla reeling. But why has William defied Camilla's wishes? And what will this mean for the future of the monarchy? Join us to uncover the details. Prince William's quiet but powerful move. Prince William is known for being calm and thoughtful. He doesn't need to shout or show off to make a difference. His quiet way of leading is strong and steady. Recently, he made a small but important change for Duchess Sophie's children, James and Lady Louise. This change was done quietly, without big announcements or celebrations. Even though it didn't make big headlines, people who paid close attention knew it was important. William is slowly changing how the royal family is seen by the public. Instead of following old rules without question, he is giving respect to family members in a way that feels right today. James, who used to be called Viscount Severn, quietly took on the title Earl of Wessex. This is a way to honor his grandfather, the late Prince Edward. At the same time, Lady Louise was given a bigger role in the family. She prefers to stay out of the spotlight and focus on her education. But this new step shows how dedicated and strong she really is. What makes this choice special is how it was done. There were no big speeches or fancy parties. William let the simple change speak for itself. In a world full of rules and traditions, this quiet act shows that important changes can happen gently without noise or fanfare. Sometimes the strongest messages come from small, thoughtful actions. This move also shows that William is becoming a key leader in the royal family. He understands how important traditions are, but also knows that the monarchy must grow and change with the times. By quietly raising the status of James and Lady Louise, he is sending a message that every family member matters, no matter where they stand in the line of succession. Both James and Lady Louise have lived simple and honest lives. They have put their education and personal growth before royal duties. William's decision to quietly give them more responsibility shows what the royal family values today. It highlights the importance of duty, honesty, and being ready to help when needed. So small, this thoughtful act points to a bigger picture. William is shaping the royal family to focus more on service than on status, more on hard work than on appearance. Through this gentle but powerful choice, he is opening the door for a future where the monarchy embraces kindness, progress, and respect for all people. At the same time, he honors tradition but moves the family away from old ways that no longer fit today. To understand why this move was important, we have to dive back into Prince Edward and Duchess Sophie's life. Why Prince Edward and Duchess Sophie chose silence. Prince Edward and Duchess Sophie spent years avoiding the limelight, unlike the rest of the royal family who constantly sought attention. They preferred a low-key lifestyle, steering clear of the media and extravagant public events. Instead of engaging in royal tours and public appearances, Edward and Sophie focused on creating a tranquil and private existence. The tale of Prince Edward and Sophie commenced slowly and quietly. Sophie, employed at Capital Radio, first encountered Prince Edward in 1987. At that time, Edward was in a relationship with one of her acquaintances, so their interactions were uneventful. It wasn't until 1993, during a charity event for the Prince Edward Summer Challenge, that their relationship truly blossomed. Amid speculation of a royal marriage, Edward, who is known for his reserved demeanor, took it upon himself to address the newspapers directly, requesting politely that their privacy be respected. In December of 1998, while spending a peaceful holiday in the Bahamas, Edward asked Sophie to marry him using a stunning ring that had a 2-carat oval diamond and 2 heart-shaped gems on each side, all set in white gold that gleamed brightly. The proposal was intimate and sweet, mirroring the nature of their relationship. Their plans to get married were made public in January of the following year, and by that time Queen Elizabeth II already approved of Sophie. Edward and Sophie opted for a more low-key wedding compared to the extravagant royal weddings in the past. Their marriage took place on June 19, 1999, at St. George's Chapel in Windsor Castle. The ceremony was intimate and smaller in scale compared to the grand affairs at Westminster Abbey or St. Paul's Cathedral for Edward's siblings. Edward was bestowed with the title Earl of Wessex on their wedding day, a title with significant familial ties, and Viscount Severn, in tribute to Sophie's family heritage. After getting married, the couple went to live in Bagshot Park in Surrey, instead of staying in the busy royal life of London. Even though they still had their official residence at Buckingham Palace, they chose to live in the quiet countryside. They made a conscious decision to raise their children, James and Lady Louise, in a way that was not influenced by their royal status. This decision was carefully considered. They wanted their children to have a normal upbringing without the pressures and scrutiny that often accompanied being part of the royal family. The Wessex has made the decision not to bestow James and Louise with royal HRH titles upon their birth. This choice was not a refusal of royal duties. Rather, it was a desire to allow their children the liberty to embrace their own identities and ambitions. Instead of attending prestigious institutions, both kids went to typical schools, socialized with peers from all walks of life, and enjoyed their time immersed in literature, the outdoors, and personal interests away from the glare of photographers. Throughout the years, James and Louise were spotted exclusively at significant royal family gatherings. They consistently displayed good manners and were dressed impeccably. However, they were never the focal point. Their parents held the belief that being royal did not equate to being constantly in the spotlight. Their upbringing was marked by school, sports, family outings, and peaceful moments. Nonetheless, there were significant developments taking place behind the scenes during those tranquil years. Lady Louise, born in 2003, gained recognition for her serene and contemplative demeanor. She formed a strong connection with her grandfather, Prince Philip, bonding over their mutual affection for horses and carriage driving. The public witnessed her poised and elegant nature when she took the reins of his carriage during his funeral, revealing a side of her that many had not seen before. It was a bittersweet moment that shed new light on her character. James, who was born in 2007, maintained a distance from the spotlight. People who are familiar with him describe him as down-to-earth and courteous. From a young age, it was evident that James had a strong appreciation for customs and family. Despite rarely being visible or vocal, his consistent demeanor left an impact on those who observed him. James and Louise did not actively seek attention, but their understated resilience made them noteworthy in their own unique manner. Prince William and the late Queen recognized their potential for reasons that were not necessarily obvious. They were not known for being showy or outspoken, but for being reliable and consistent. When Prince William chose to give James the title of Earl of Wessex and show more recognition to Lady Louise, it was not just about giving them prestigious titles, but also about appreciating their years of loyal service and readiness. This slight change signals the start of a fresh start for James and Louise. The attention they have steered clear of in the past is now starting to gravitate towards them. James, assuming his father's previous role, indicates a sense of confidence, and rumors hint that Lady Louise will also increase her involvement in public responsibilities going forward. Two young individuals who grew up at a distance from the spotlight didn't waste their peaceful years. These years were about personal growth, education, and the development of their personalities. A tribute to the Queen's heart. Prince William's recent choices carry a special meaning during a time of many changes in the royal family. One quiet but important decision is how he is raising the status of James and Lady Louise, the children of Prince Edward and Duchess Sophie. It might seem like just a simple shuffle of titles, but it is really a sweet and heartfelt tribute to his grandmother, the late Queen Elizabeth II. Queen Elizabeth loved her youngest grandchildren deeply. Even though she was quiet and reserved in public, those close to the family saw how much she cared. She praised Lady Louise and James for their polite manners, calm nature, and strong sense of family values. Most of all, she admired their sense of responsibility. To her, that was what royal duty truly meant. Prince William's recognition of them is more than just giving titles. It is a beautiful way to honor the Queen's memory and the values she held dear. The Queen loved tradition, but also understood that the royal family must grow and change with time. She gently guided the family to adapt without losing their core beliefs. William is following this same path, blending respect for tradition with careful progress. This kind act towards James and Lady Louise is about more than just royal ranks. It shows the vision for the future of the monarchy. William wants to highlight family members who are humble, hardworking, and steady, not those chasing the spotlight or fame. He wants a royal family built on duty, grace, and reliability. This tribute is even more touching because of the unique way the Wessex family has lived. Prince Edward, Duchess Sophie, and their children chose to stay away from the public eye for many years. Unlike other royals who often face scandals, the Wessex is focused on teaching their children kindness, responsibility, and respect for privacy. They lived simple lives, sent their children to normal schools, kept family traditions, and quietly took part in important royal events. The strong bond between Queen Elizabeth and Sophie was well known inside the palace. Many believed Sophie was one of the Queen's most trusted family members. This quiet respect likely extended to her children as well. While other parts of the family faced challenges, the Wessexes stayed calm and steady. Their peaceful strength began to shine through. Prince William's decision to shine a light on James and Louise is more than about titles. It shows he wants to prepare a new generation of royals who are loyal, humble, and devoted to serving others. With their youth and clean reputations, James and Louise represent the values the Queen cherished most. It feels right that during this time of change, young people raised with honesty and strength are stepping forward. This is a lasting gift from the Queen. Even though she is gone, her lessons still guide those she inspired. Her qualities, grace, humility, and a strong sense of duty continue to set the tone for the royal family. By keeping these traditions alive, her spirit lives on. So what was Camilla's reaction to this move? How did she respond? Let's find out. Camilla's growing worries inside the palace walls. With so many changes happening in the royal family, Queen Camilla can't help but feel uneasy. Prince William's simple decision to adjust titles and give more attention to James and Lady Louise has stirred up more than just quiet talk in the palace. This move signals a new chapter for the royals, and for Camilla, it's a future she might not be ready to face. For years, Queen Camilla worked hard to find her place in the royal family. It wasn't an easy path. At first, many people weren't sure how to feel about her, but with steady effort, and by standing firmly beside King Charles, she slowly earned respect. Today, as Queen Consort, she appears proudly next to the king at important events, smiling for photographs, following royal traditions, and representing the crown. Yet beneath the surface, Camilla can feel change quietly creeping in. She was truly caught off guard by Prince William's sudden decision. Camilla has always believed in following royal traditions, where big changes are talked over with the king and senior royals first. But William's bold moves show a different way of thinking, one where decisions are made quickly, quietly, and without long discussions. We now believe William isn't just waiting for his time to come. He's already shaping the future of the monarchy in his own way. Those close to Camilla say she felt unsettled when she heard about the title changes for the Wessex children. It wasn't because she had any issues with James or Lady Louise. She has always been questionable sources. to kind to the younger royals. What truly upset her was how fast the decision was made, ignoring the careful, thoughtful steps that usually come with such matters. Camilla's worries go beyond just this one moment. She fears what might come next. If William feels free to make changes without asking the king or her, what other traditions could he sweep aside? Does this mean her influence will slowly fade as William's new style of monarchy takes hold? These questions weigh heavily on her mind. Camilla remembers her own struggles when she first entered the royal family. She knows how quickly public opinion can shift, how fragile royal roles can be, and how easy it is to be pushed into the background when the world starts to change. Being Princess Catherine's growing popularity and William's rising power, Camilla can feel the balance starting to shift again. The public's deep love for Catherine is impossible to miss. With William by her side, Catherine's future in the royal family feels secure and bright. Camilla also knows that as William quietly reshapes the royal world, attention will turn more and more toward the younger generation. Not just William and Catherine, but James and Lady Louise, too. Their simple, graceful lives, untouched by scandal and filled with royal duty, make them ideal for a modern monarchy. And while Camilla keeps a warm smile in public, in private, she's reflecting deeply on what these changes might mean for her. Everyone in the royal family fears falling behind in a fast-moving world. Camilla has worked so hard to earn her place, attending events, supporting charities, and representing the crown. But now, as William makes bold decisions and welcomes fresh ideas, the future feels uncertain. Camilla finds it hard to ignore how William's choices could shift power within the palace. Important royal decisions have always been made by the monarch, senior royals, and trusted advisors together. But William seems ready to make moves on his own, guided by his vision of a modern monarchy. Camilla understands that the world must move forward, but she treasures tradition and careful talks. The quick pace of these changes feels like it's shaking the ground she's tried so hard to steady. Little by little, tension is growing in the palace. It's clear now Prince William isn't waiting for his turn. He's already building the future. Every quiet decision, every firm move is helping to shape a new kind of royal family, one made for today's world. While some welcome these changes, Queen Camilla is left with a mix of worry and quiet reflection. She knows she isn't the main focus of this new chapter. But in the royal world, things can shift without warning, and no one is truly safe from being swept up in the storm. For now, Camilla keeps up her cheerful appearance at public events, standing by the king's side and carrying out her duties. You might think it's just a duty which was given to James, but with its importance, you would understand why Camilla has been reeling. Let's dive into the importance of this title. Why James's new title means more. Many people thought Prince William's decision to let young James become the new Earl of Wessex was just a kind and polite gesture, a simple way to honor family tradition. But inside the royal world, titles mean so much more than what most people see. This wasn't just about being nice. It was an important step in shaping the royal family's future, with James playing a quiet but very special role in this plan. The title of Earl of Wessex has a rich history. It was brought back by Queen Elizabeth II for her youngest son, Prince Edward. Over the years, Prince Edward wore the title proudly, representing the royal family at important events and offering gentle support during difficult times. For a long while, it was expected that when Prince Edward became Duke of Edinburgh, his son James would naturally take the Earl of Wessex title. But the surprising part of this story is that it wasn't King Charles who made the decision. It was quietly approved by Prince William. And that small detail says a lot about where the monarchy is headed. This moment is about more than just keeping a family promise. It shows how Prince William is slowly shaping the royal family in his own way. He's choosing people he trusts, not just based on their place in the line of succession, but because of who they are and how they carry themselves. It proves that the future of the monarchy won't rest only on the person who wears the crown, but on having a strong, dependable team ready to face whatever comes next. James has already shown that he has what it takes to be a royal leader one day. Even though he's still young, he carries himself with grace and calm. Whether he's joining in family traditions or quietly helping his parents with charity or work, James stays humble and focused, never chasing the spotlight. One very touching moment came after Queen Elizabeth II's passing during the vigil by her coffin. James stood beside his cousins in front of the cameras. Though he was quiet and serious, those close to him noticed how calm and respectful he remained during those hard days. It was a reminder that sometimes quiet strength matters even more than grand speeches or big headlines. The Earl of Wessex title also ties James to his late grandfather, Prince Philip, in a meaningful way. James shares some of Prince Philip's calm nature and his deep love for the outdoors. He's already shown a strong interest in nature and caring for the environment, walking in the same path as his grandfather. By becoming the new Earl of Wessex, James isn't just following a family tradition. He's stepping into a role of loyal service to the royal family and the country. Prince William's choice means more than titles and formal duties. He's working to build a dependable team of family members who can help him modernize the monarchy while still holding on to its treasured traditions. And James is exactly the kind of person William wants for the royal family: honest, steady, free from drama, and more interested in helping others than seeking fame. Even though James isn't often in the headlines, those who watch the royal family closely can see the careful steps being taken to prepare him for the future. He's being gently guided toward a role within the royal household that will require kindness, patience, and a clear understanding of what it means to be a modern royal. The royal gem nobody expected. Lady Louise Windsor spent many years quietly living in the background of royal life. She was known mostly as the Queen's gentle and polite granddaughter, a young woman who rarely made headlines and stayed far from the cameras in public attention. Unlike some of her famous royal relatives, Louise was never expected to take on royal duties or carry the heavy weight of royal traditions. But now, something is beginning to change, and it's happening in the sweetest and most unexpected way. From the very start, Louise's parents, Prince Edward and Sophie, worked hard to protect her childhood. They wanted her to grow up like any other child, going to school, joining in activities, and enjoying life without the constant glare of the media. Their biggest wish was for Louise to have a peaceful, ordinary childhood, far from the spotlight that so often follows members of the royal family. As Lady Louise grew older, people inside the royal family began to notice something special about her. Even though she was never in the center of attention, she carried a gentle charm. She had a quiet grace, a kind heart, and a deep sense of duty. It became clear that Louise had inherited some of the wonderful qualities of her grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II, and her grandfather, Prince Philip. One moment that truly touched people's hearts came during Prince Philip's funeral. Lady Louise drove her grandfather's beloved carriage, a role filled with meaning and love. This touching act showed not only the strong bond she shared with him, but also the trust her family placed in her. For a little while, the world's eyes moved away from the senior royals and focused on this beautiful moment of family love and tradition. Since then, Louise has slowly started to step into the spotlight. She has attended important royal events like Prince Philip's memorial service, Trooping the Color, and the Platinum Jubilee celebrations. At each event, she appeared calm, kind, and graceful. Even during difficult times, like standing in solemn watch by Queen Elizabeth II's coffin alongside her brother James and other family members, Louise showed quiet strength and dignity. Lady Louise also joined the royal family at King Charles III's coronation and the celebration concert that followed. She blended in effortlessly, never trying to steal the spotlight, but still standing proudly with her family. The way she carried herself during these big moments won her the admiration of many people. What makes Louise's story even sweeter is that she has never chased after fame or fortune. Those who know her say she cares most about her family, her education, and staying true to her personal values. This may be exactly why she fits so perfectly into the modern royal family. As Prince William carefully shapes the future of the monarchy, it's clear he values people who are steady, loyal, and dependable. And that description suits Lady Louise beautifully. While other members of the royal family have faced scandals and troubles, Louise has quietly stayed out of it all. She's built a reputation for having a clean record and being someone the public can trust. Most importantly, she represents the calm, steady, and thoughtful image of royalty that Queen Elizabeth II held dear. Now, as Prince William works to improve the royal family's image and build a fresh, dependable group of future leaders, Lady Louise shines as a hidden gem, quietly lighting up from the sidelines. The Wessex family, once thought of as a quieter part of the royal household, is slowly gaining more attention, with Louise playing a special and important part in that change. They have stayed under the watchful eye of their mother. But one question is, who really is their mother to the monarchy? Of what importance does she hold to the British family? Stick with us, Duchess Sophie. Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh, has quietly become one of the most important people in the royal family. At first, she was mostly known as Prince Edward's wife, keeping a gentle, quiet presence in the background. But over time, Sophie has shown just how special she is, stepping up when her family needed her most. Her calm strength, steady support, and deep sense of duty have earned her love and respect from everyone around her. Unlike other royals who often seek the spotlight, Sophie chose a different path. She focused on her family and important causes close to her heart. People know her for being kind, dependable, and down to earth. In hard times, she's the one the family turns to for help. Her influence reaches far beyond royal events. It touches every part of her life. One of Sophie's greatest achievements is how she raised her two children, Lady Louise and James. From the start, she made sure they lived a simple, normal life, away from the bright lights and big expectations that often come with being royal. They went to regular schools, played sports, and enjoyed an ordinary childhood. Sophie worked hard to teach them about kindness, humility, and the importance of helping others whenever they could. Queen Elizabeth II admired Sophie's ability to balance her family life and royal duties so gracefully. The Queen trusted her deeply. When Prince Harry and Meghan Markle stepped away from their royal roles, Sophie quietly took on more responsibilities. She started appearing at more events and became a steady, calming presence in the royal family, helping hold everything together. Even before all of this, Sophie was already doing amazing work with charities. She supported victims of violence, people with disabilities, and those living in poor or war-torn places like South Sudan and Sierra Leone. Sophie showed real care and courage, never expecting praise or attention. She put her heart into helping charities focused on health, especially those supporting women and children, raising awareness, and giving hands on help. Sophie's kindness wasn't just for show. She joined charity events, stood beside families going through tough health struggles, and even volunteered at food banks during the pandemic. She made a real difference without ever asking for thanks or recognition. Recognizing Sophie's steady nature and big heart, Queen Elizabeth began handing over some of her own charity work to her. This was a clear sign of how much the Queen trusted her. Sophie always carried herself with grace, never chasing the spotlight, but always being there when it mattered most. Her calm, thoughtful leadership has quietly shaped the royal family in beautiful ways. Prince William seems inspired by Sophie's style, focusing on sincere actions and trusting family members like Lady Louise and James. Thanks to Sophie's example, the royal family's future is looking gentle, steady, and kind. Some people wondered how Sophie became such an important figure, but those who paid attention saw it clearly. It was her hard work, smart choices, and loyalty that brought her to where she is today. Sophie never wanted fame. Her real power came from being genuine, reliable, and true to herself. Sophie has shown everyone what true royalty means through her kind actions and wise advice. Even when times were hard and not everyone agreed with her, she stayed strong and quietly took on more. She never gave up and always handled herself with grace. Now the younger generation is learning from her example. Lady Louise, especially, is growing into a thoughtful young woman with the same calm, steady nature as her mother. She's taking on her responsibilities naturally, earning quiet admiration without even trying. It's no surprise, it's a reflection of Sophie's gentle support and wise guidance. King Charles's tight monarchy. When King Charles became monarch, he had big plans for the royal family. He believed it was time to make the family smaller, simpler, and closer to the people. Charles felt that the royal family had grown too large and was involved in too many things that felt old-fashioned. His dream was to make everything run smoothly, focus on the most important duties, and reduce the number of royals attending public events. At first, many people liked his idea. A smaller, more modern royal family sounded fresh and thoughtful. It seemed like a smart way to improve how people saw the monarchy, save money, and avoid bad headlines. The timing felt perfect, too, especially since Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, and Prince Andrew had stepped away from their royal duties. But slowly, small problems began to appear. Important events were being missed, and jobs once handled by other royals were left undone. People inside the palace started to worry. There simply weren't enough active royals to cover everything, and the gap left by those who had stepped back was becoming too large to ignore. That's when Prince William decided to step in. He saw these growing issues and felt it was time to make a change. William respects his father's wish to modernize the monarchy, but he also knows that too many changes could cause harm. It's very important for the royal family to stay connected to the people. They need friendly, warm faces that the public can admire and relate to. This is why William turned everyone's attention to James and Louise, the children of the Earl and Countess of Wessex. These two young royals are loved by many, have stayed away from scandals, and carry themselves well. William's goal wasn't just about their titles or appearances. It was about protecting the monarchy's future. The people need younger royals to believe in, and the royal family needs to show that it's still devoted to serving the public. Some say William's move wasn't really about change, but about survival. The royal family is famous for its traditions, but even they know they must adapt when the time comes. William seems sure that bringing in fresh faces, new ideas, and different stories is the best way to keep people interested. Without doing this, the royal family risks becoming outdated and unimportant. Of course, King Charles has noticed what's happening. There are whispers that he's not too happy with his son's choices, which seem to quietly drift away from his original plan. Charles wanted to keep the monarchy tight and focused, but William is slowly widening its reach. People are starting to wonder if this is a sign of trouble or just a normal shift that happens as times change. So far, King Charles hasn't stepped in. He hasn't stopped William's efforts, though people close to the palace say there's a quiet tension. Every time William takes on more responsibilities and makes choices about the family's future, it's a reminder that one day he will be king. The more he acts like a future king, the more it seems to challenge his father's leadership. Some people think William is trying to outshine his father, but many others believe he's just working to protect what's left of the royal family's power and help it last. It's not about taking control, it's about saving a legacy. What happens next could depend on how well younger royals like James and Louise connect with the public. If people welcome them and enjoy seeing them at royal events, it might bring new life to the family. It could prove that there's a way to mix Charles's plan for a smaller royal team with William's more practical, people-focused approach. Right now, the royal family is standing at an important moment. King Charles's idea of a slimmed-down monarchy is starting to face real problems, but it hasn't fallen apart yet. How did the public receive this news? What was their response? Let's find out how the public is reacting. When news spread about young James receiving a new title, it quickly caught everyone's attention. People couldn't help but wonder why it happened now and why both James and his sister Louise were suddenly in the spotlight. It made many curious if this was part of a bigger plan or if the Wessex children were being gently prepared as the future faces of the royal family. These quiet thoughts filled people's minds. At first, the public had mixed feelings. Some thought it was a clever idea. They believed bringing forward young, calm, and polite family members was a lovely change. It seemed like a quiet, gentle way to refresh the royal family without causing drama or making a big scene. But others questioned if this went against King Charles's earlier promise. Hadn't he said he wanted a smaller, simpler royal family? Didn't he plan to cut back on royal titles and keep only a few working royals around? Slowly, the mood began to shift. As little stories came out about James's shy nature and Louise's kind, modest ways, people started to warm up to them. The pair seemed to be the perfect picture of young royals, respectful, thoughtful, and not interested in chasing fame. In a world where so many people loved the spotlight, James and Louise chose to stay quiet and graceful, earning admiration not through loud moments, but through their calm and gentle presence. Many fans pointed out that James and Louise grew up mostly out of the public eye. They were rarely seen at big events, and when they did appear, they carried themselves with a quiet elegance. Some people felt this was exactly what the royal family needed in these uncertain times. It felt good to have young royals who were humble, steady, and held on to the old traditions. Of course, people still have questions. Will James someday take on full royal duties? Could Louise follow a quiet path like Princess Anne, working faithfully behind the scenes and avoiding drama? No official answers have been given yet, but small hints are starting to appear. Prince William seems to be watching closely. He's paying attention to how people are reacting to these gentle changes, and so far the response has been kind. Many are saying they'd like to see more of James and Louise. Their sweet manners and simple, respectful ways remind people of the royal family's traditional values and give a little hope about what its future might look like. Queen Elizabeth's gentle wishes. Before most people even noticed, Queen Elizabeth had already made quiet, personal choices about Sophie, Louise, and James. Long before they stepped into the spotlight because of Prince William's actions, the Queen had seen something special in the Wessex family. It wasn't about their royal titles or the chance to be famous. What touched her heart were their simple, lovely qualities, their kindness, their gentle nature, and their honesty. Queen Elizabeth always had a soft spot for Sophie. She admired how Sophie carried herself with grace and how she would quietly step in to help without ever asking for praise. The Queen also paid close attention to young Louise at royal events. She noticed how polite, gentle, and thoughtful Louise was, and it made her proud. And little James, in the Queen's eyes, had a sweet, calm spirit. He didn't chase attention, but his steady, reliable ways made him someone the family could count on in the years to come. Behind closed doors, Queen Elizabeth would speak with those she trusted most, sharing how much she believed in Sophie's family. It was never about titles or tradition. It was about their hearts. The Queen's feelings showed through in small, tender moments. When she gave James a title connected to Philip's memory, it was her quiet way of pointing toward the future she hoped for. These gentle gestures were her way of softly preparing what was to come. Years later, it seems Prince William has picked up on those quiet signs. His recent decisions to include James and Louise more in royal life are very much like the careful steps the Queen once took. It's not just about today. It's a sweet nod to the hopes and ideas his grandmother once held. Even though she's no longer here, her touch is still felt in the smallest, tender moments. What the future holds for the monarchy. Many people are now curious about what it really means for Sophie and her children to gain more attention in the royal world. Everyone is quietly wondering how this might affect Prince William's ideas for the future of the monarchy. Could it be that the royal family is quietly heading down an unexpected path? Some royal watchers believe that Prince William is gently changing the old ways, giving the royal family a fresh new shape. William has always needed to walk a careful line between tradition and change. Tradition is about the royal family's long, proud history. Change, on the other hand, is needed so they can stay important in today's modern world. Lately, it seems that William is leaning more toward change. He's working to make the royal family simpler, younger, and filled with members who share modern values. You can see this shift clearly with James and Louise, who are known for being kind, well-mannered, and well-educated. At a time when the royal family has faced scandals and challenges, William's calm, thoughtful way of handling things feels like a quiet, hopeful new chapter. William is also learning from the past. The royal family struggled to stay close to the people during difficult times, like when Princess Diana faced her troubles, or when Prince Harry and Meghan Markle spoke out. William seems determined not to let history repeat itself. Instead of loud announcements and sudden changes, he's carefully bringing trusted family members like Sophie's children into the fold. He's slowly reshaping the family from within, setting an example and thinking carefully about every decision he makes. This isn't just about giving out titles or looking good on the surface. It's about building a royal family based on trust, respect, and a real connection with the public. William wants a monarchy that honors its old traditions while also gently growing and changing with the world. It's a delicate, important task, and many believe it will shape the future of the royal family for years to come. Now the Wessex family is in the spotlight like never before because of these quiet changes. Their new, more visible roles show that the royal family is ready to move forward, even if it means dealing with a few surprises along the way. Some people inside the palace didn't expect this shift, proving that even in royal circles, change can arrive when no one sees it coming. It's William's decision to give James and Louise more attention is about more than family history. It's a sign that he wants a modern royal family where kindness, loyalty, and real relationships matter most. In making these careful moves, William is quietly honoring Queen Elizabeth's private wish for Sophie's family to hold important and steady roles in the royal future. Instead of sticking to the old rules, William is gently rewriting them, setting new standards with kindness and wisdom. As this new generation begins to take on more, and as responsibilities slowly shift, history is being written right now. The days ahead will reveal what roles James, Louise, and the whole royal family will play. Will they help reshape what it means to serve the monarchy in today's world? Time will tell, but one thing is certain. The royal family is moving forward, holding on to the past with one hand while reaching out to the future with the other. A gentle, thoughtful change that has captured the hearts of many. What do you think? How well will James and Lady Louise perform their duty? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Before you go, be sure to click on the video shown on your screen.